very good afternoon to all of you. First of all, it's such a great honor to be part of this August gathering and to be made the guest of honor by Suparna and Sabera. I have also been a SABERA Awardee by her, and she has made sure that whatever effort I did as part of my government duty has been duly highlighted. And that time as a SABERA Awardee, and now she has made me a guest of honor, and I'm speaking to you. She wanted me to come, and it was such an honor. Whenever Suparna calls, I know, she's very inspiring. I'm, of course, in a government setup, so I have these opportunities where I can interfere, make people smile, deliver justice. But for her, as a personal, person, making that special effort to go to slums, talk to children, making that effort, to these Josh talks in so many universities, trying to make a difference and bring in the gender inclusivity aspects. I think it is amazing that for one person to have so much of energy. I mean, she has a young daughter to take care of and a mother. She has a whole, so many other things to take care of and all alone. And, people like us, we get credit, though we have a whole bandwagon of people helping us to do what we do. And we are only, probably just team leaders. But still, I really appreciate what Suparna does every time. And every time I get a call from her and she's telling me something, I'm like sitting amazed. She's got this bundle of energy. She's always positive. Whenever I'm down and I'm not feeling good about myself, I have to talk to her, and that's it. 5 minutes, you're up and about. So the more I said about Suparna, the less. But since all of you must be knowing her in your own way, and that's why we all have gathered here. This initiative of SABERA Awards, I feel, is something very great that she has done because one, it is done selflessly. Second, it is acknowledging the work, the silent work that a lot of institutions, NGOs, and organizations do, which is a very, very good thing because a lot of silent work keeps happening. And not only in India, abroad, everywhere, in villages, and like she was mentioning about, when a film is made, you come to know about the hard work and the silent work that has been happening. So it's also awards like these, and the kind of noise that she makes. People come to know about organizations. So the last time I think I attended one of her functions, I came to know about an NGO whom I later reconnected with for some of the slum work that they were doing. So I think, what she brings about is that part of society which we don't have time for, we don't want to look at it, we want to just go ahead and do our bit. But surprisingly, the effort that SABERA has been making in the last 6 years, whether she realizes or doesn't realize, and the kind of branding that she has done, that apart, I think it is extremely creditable, and I think I want everyone to give a big round of applause to Suparna. You might be thinking that this is I scratch your back and you scratch my back, or a mutual admiration society, but it is. Let's say that. So she wanted me to speak about, how we can have this gender inclusivity and we can have this women inclusive environment in an Atmanirbhar Bharat. So my take on this is that I think my friend here, Geeta, would be knowing, and maybe a lot of people who are working in big MNCs. There's only 10% of women who are in that, that area where we are not only economically productive, we are empowered, but we are also taking decisions which empower others. But the rest, what happens to the rest 90%? Look at the big workforce that is just sitting at home and, probably just doing household work. What are they doing? They are probably not considered even, in the GDP, their contribution. But actually, a lot of silent work goes in making sure that the rest of the family is doing well. So that is a huge contribution. And also, when we do not account for that, when she does not have the economic power, because she is sacrificing not going outside, but letting others go and work, she's also giving up her decision-making power. So whether which holiday to go to is the person who holds the purse will decide. Whoever has the economic power will be more decisive. So, the empowerment is more connected to the economic power. So when you are talking of empowerment, there's a lot of noise we've heard recently about empowerment, and when we hear it in so many other forums, we talk about, acha, kisko kitni naukri deni hai, so like the government's thing is like, okay, if you want more women in the sector, there's a reservation, and you open up, you give them a job. Simply giving them a job and asking women to contribute is, I think, is the biggest fallacy that we are facing. I'm working in a male-dominated force, and my experience is that when you increase the number of women who are working in the workforce, the first thing that they have to fight is patriarchy. Nobody accepts women in their environment. So first of all, that acceptability is a big challenge. How can the woman, the same job that I am doing, this woman is doing? And then when you're trying to create an environment for that woman, so that she not only, you've empowered her, you want to make her a contributing member of that organization, whichever organization. It could be L&T, it could be, a male-dominated force like the police force, it could be army, air force, anything. You've seen so many movies on it, Gunjan and, so many others. They will show how, the men will make sure that the woman is feeling small about even getting that job and being there. So that journey of her and so many others of making her reach that empowerment goes waste, because what is she doing now? She's twiddling her thumbs and making a laughing stock out of her because she asked for a retiring room. She asked for a separate bathroom. There are offices which do not have a separate bathroom for women, and it is extremely, you'll have a beautiful building and they won't have a bathroom for women. And it is so embarrassing, it is so uncomfortable. Like if I as a senior officer have faced it, you just imagine the plight of a poor constable. So like we have to make that extra effort where we say, can we not only bring in these women because they are a necessity, but ensure that we give them an environment. Then after giving them an environment, they become a laughing stock because due to their family problems, they will need CCL. Chutti chahiye, bachcha paida kar rahe ho. But why is it looked down upon? We have to accept that if, women are part of your workforce, you might have to, lay them off for some time because they are contributing to the society, they are contributing to the family for which they are earning, and they may have some, responsibilities, but we don't look at that. So there is a very non-inclusive environment. So kitni bhi empowerment ki baat kar lo, but if you have this non-inclusive environment, you're not creating space for them. They are frustrated, they can't contribute, they will crib, they will make complaints, some of them will try to leave the job. So there is a lot of dissatisfaction everywhere. So my point is that when you're talking of a Atmanirbhar Bharat, you also have to talk about the environment that you have to create where all these women feel, an equal participation in the nation building through whatever contribution they can make. And Corona has taught you that आप घर से भी काम कर सकते हैं. Work from home is a possibility. But it took so many years and a Corona for India to realize that work from home is possible, because before that it was not happening. And then there are jobs like, again, I'll come back to the police force or the army or the people who are working in the hospitals. They can't work from home. You have so many nurses and so many other people women workforce who have to go to work. They can't work from home. But when they ask for any kind of benefit, they are looked down upon, they are laughed upon, they are ridiculed. When they ask for better wages, for example, if madam is working in L&T and she will ask for another colleague she will compete with. So if she asks for a better pay or a better, proposition for some pitch she has made and she has achieved it, and they'll say, oh, she's very aggressive. And if a guy will ask, it will be, oh, wow, like he wants to achieve more in life, and he's like very, it'll be looked upon. So I have experienced this, that, we are not giving women that amount of attention and that amount of importance that we ought to give. There is a lot of empathy, sensitivity, there is a lot of creativity which women officers, women managers bring to their job, which we are ignoring. And by doing that, we are also creating an environment which is very anti-women. तो एक तरफ तो we are creating कि भाई empowerment दे रहे हैं because हम job दे रहे हैं, हम come to Panchayati Raj. I think there's a little bit of noise about these panchayats where you have women who are the head and the pati is sitting on the chair. So, I mean, there are n number of examples where the rights of the women are being just, so there is a plastic image. You want to give them empowerment, but you don't want to give them the real power. So my take on this is one simple thing. There is something called gender mainstreaming. We have to now, in India, seriously start thinking of gender mainstreaming. You can have any number of IPS officers, you can have any number of CEOs which are female, you can have any number of ministers who are females. But if you do not give them decision-making power, if you do not give them the freedom to decide that this will happen because I decided and I'm a policy maker, then it's useless. So if a bunch of guys who are going to be making sure that what she decides is what they have decided for her, that's not what empowerment is. That is not exactly what gender mainstreaming we are looking at. So the 100% contribution from the 50% of the the workforce in India, when it reaches that level where we're talking of contribution, when we're talking of justice, when we're talking of so many other things, everything, I think the sense of pride, the sense of participation, and I think India will race forward much faster. You see so many women talking of unsafe city, unsafe. What about workplaces? Aren't they unsafe? Let me tell you some statistics. Recently, NCRB, I think in so many papers, has released some statistics. So in our office, we were looking at the statistics and smiling. So when you talk of, they say X city is unsafe because the rape cases have gone high. Now, if you please ask for more fine statistics, you will come to know that only 2% or 3% or max 5% cases will be from an unknown person. The unknown person is what is the unsafe city about. It's not your incestual rape we are talking about. So the 95% rapes are happening in houses. They are happening with people who are live-in partners, who are known, who are acquaintances, who are people who may be those people who should be ensuring your safety. But that discrimination, that fact, the society is not willing to accept. And obviously, figures don't say those things. So if you start fine talking, then this is what every day when I'm giving my morning diary, I'm part of Eastern Range, so morning diary to sometimes I feel like 90% of the cases that we're talking about is POXO, where children are involved in sexual assault. So it sometimes looks like if there are 5 cases of 3 districts I'm looking after, and if there are 5 cases of 2 rapes and 3 POXOs, और मुझे वो सब चीज़ अपने boss को बतानी है, it looks as if I'm telling him a porn story. And it's sad. All of them are relatives. All of them are neighbors. All of them are people who are known. And हम 3-4 दिन में, हफ्ते में, महीने में पकड़ लेते हैं उनको, केस हमारा वर्कआउट हो जाता है. बाद में क्योंकि फैमिली होती है तो वो कन्विक्शन नहीं होती. कन्विक्शन क्यों नहीं होती? Because there is pressure from everybody. अरे छोड़ दो, it's too long, वो घर का ही है, माफ कर दो. So what happens is the conviction doesn't happen. So there are a lot of things where statistics can work, but nobody is willing to listen to the police. It's so easy to just treat us like a street dog and throw a stone at us and fine, yeah, ठीक है, police को blame करो और आगे चलो types. But taking responsibility like Suparna or Sabera, or it takes courage. It takes courage to accept facts that yeah, these facts which are there, blatantly looking at you are much different than what exactly is being told to you by the newspaper or the media every day. So there will be an occasion when when the police does get a chance to contest these things. But the fact is, the way the media wants to sometimes project it is like, as if, Delhi is the most unsafe city. So we all girls have been born and brought up in Delhi. I don't think we find it unsafe. My daughter's studying here. Her daughter's been studying here. Purnima's daughters have been studying here. So किसी को unsafe नहीं लगता है. क्यों unsafe नहीं लगता है? Because हम या तो उस तबके से नहीं हैं, या हमारे जो लोग, that tribe of men who need to take care of us are actually taking care of us. You understand? When I look back at my life, I say, like, what is the difference between me and the girl who got raped? Or what is the difference between me and, the other person who was who didn't get a job, or who's frustrated and twiddling her thumbs, sitting like a housewife to somebody and not getting her rights. Difference is my father. Difference is my brother. Difference is the attitude my husband brings in. The difference is how men have treated in my life to me. So may God, I keep hoping that all of you have men in your lives, and maybe so many men sitting over here, who make sure that women not only, you give them empowerment, you give them that support and hold their hands, the hand holding, and say ki jao, lado, and go and win and come back. Don't come crying back. So like I've had all my life, my father, my husband, and people around me, even my staff, who support me and they look up to me. But that didn't happen because I was talented or there was something great in me. I'm sure there's something great in all of them. Because the day we all start realizing that we have to start telling our boys to respect women, we as a nation start respecting women, we bring in the inclusivity willingly, happily, without feeling endangered. Because when men start feeling endangered, that is the time they say, नहीं नहीं बस ठीक है इतना ही काफी है बहुत empowerment की बातें कर ली बहुत feminist हो गए. So there is nothing like that. I feel that a man who is more supportive, a man who is more, the bosses who have given me, always given me jobs. I don't fit into that, you must be imagining one macho person with mustaches, tall, 6-footer, only those people can be police officers. I don't fit in that, that conundrum. But I still have been effective. Why? Because my bosses thought that the training I got and what they taught me, I was able to, efficaciously deliver. तो वो विश्वास, वो कॉन्फिडेंस, और उनको ये पता है कि she will be able to control 800 to 8,000 men by just a turn of her eyebrow, and many men will not be able to do that. So that confidence I never gave them. It is their confidence in me. So credit must be given to such men, and I hope and pray that India has more number of men like this, so that we become more Atmanirbhar faster. The gender inclusivity concept is, it's ingrained faster. ये आप अपनी नई जनरेशन को हम सिखा सकें कि भाई ये आप अपनी गर्लफ्रेंड का हाथ पकड़ के उसको सपोर्ट कीजिए, उससे कंपटीशन लेके एंडेंजर मत फील करिए. There are times when me and my husband have to vie for a same post. My husband happily goes and says, जाओ इसको दे दो ये, she needs it first. And not because he's a sissy or anything, but he's a damn confident guy, more meticulous, more smarter, and all these people who have known him, I feel, sometimes threatened by him. But he's never like that. And that is what I feel, that you may think that I'm like just praising my family and all, but I'm just giving you an example that what difference it makes in people's lives when you go to those slums and you talk to those women, and when you go to places like Selampur, Jafrabad, and the northeast and eastern areas, where you see people living in those conditions, don't have space to sleep, don't have proper bathrooms, what do you expect? You will expect such things where the safety of women is questioned. And questioned by whom? People who are responsible for their safety, not people who are unknown to them. So to cut a long story short, the gender inclusivity, I feel that India should start thinking about gender mainstreaming, where even the smallest woman in the level, the smallest leveled woman in an organization feels equally empowered to take a decision as the woman on the top. And then one last thing I would like to mention, and this is a shout out to all the women who are doing well. Do your networking like the men do. It's high time. Support other women. Because वो जो boys room chat होती है ना, उसको cut करने का best तरीका ये है that you also support women. What happens is you get a complaint from a woman who's alleged against one colleague and says उसने मुझे ऐसे किया, वो जो कहते हैं ना prevention of sexual harassment at workplace, so that act. But what happens? Nobody supports her. She suddenly feels lonely. Us time, all the women who are in power or all the women who understand her, ये सही बोल रही है, and we need to support her, should stand by her. And then the men should feel lonely. यार ये तो एका हो गया यहाँ पे. So and then whatever little bit of hand holding, like in my case, I want to give bathrooms, I want to give restrooms, I want to make sure that the women who join, किसी को CCL चाहिए भाई जाओ. तो वो जो चीजें जो मैं जो भी मेरे एरिया में आती हैं और मैं दे सकती हूँ women को, to give them empowerment in the real terms, that I want all women should do. And that shout out to all the women here, whether they are from the business or from the government, that they should do, so that what we talk about, a gender inclusive society and a true Atmanirbhar Bharat, where every one of us feels a sense of participation in the contribution that we are making to make this nation great. So thank you.